Hey, Arsenal fans. Just wanted to come and have a quick say on the saga with Raphinha that's been going on recently. Obviously, we know that we were very interested in him, and then all of a sudden, Chelsea came in. Let's get into it. Obviously, we know that we made an offer which was way below Leeds' valuation, and then Chelsea have come in and they now look in pole position to sign Raphinha. So yeah, as we know, Arsenal were looking at Raphinha. I don't think he was an intended target. I don't think Arsenal have been looking to strengthen in the wide area, especially on the right hand side. But I think that where Barcelona were hoping to pick him up for 35 million, looking at this release clause business. And then there was an opportunity to be able to pick him up at a cheaper price. I think Arsenal then jumped at that chance and went in and bid slightly higher than what Barcelona's 35 million that they were looking to pay for him. Arsenal then doing that to try to price him out. But then once the interest came from Chelsea, especially, and Spurs, you know that if Chelsea's involved and if they're really interested, you can really push that price. And so having pushed that price, up to the kind of 65 million that Leeds have asked for, Chelsea are going to kind of pay that. And, they've come in and taken pole position. It's fair enough. So let's have a look at the player, what the player offers, and do we really need him? Because that's the ongoing argument at the moment. Do we really need him? No, I don't think we really need him. This is not a hole in the squad that we need to fill. We have Bukayo Saka. Saka, in terms of production, was better last season. In terms of goals and assists, he did a lot more. I do think they have a lot of similarities. They're both very aggressive with the ball in the 1v1 situations. Bukayo Saka has been immense for us last season. The only kind of reason we should be looking to bring in someone to play there is to give Saka a little bit of a rest. We have to understand he's young, he's still learning his game, but in terms of his production, as I mentioned, his production has been very high. More goals, assists, but then in terms of the 1v1s, he's more successful on the dribble. He dribbles a greater distance. All of those things that Raphinha could potentially offer. Saka has done better with him last season. So this idea that we should be looking to pay 65 million for this person to come in a position where we're already strong, it doesn't really make much sense to me. I also think any idea that we were going to be looking to buy him to come in and be a first team player doesn't make sense to me either. So for me, it was opportunistic. Can we get him at a cheap price? If yes, then great. Gives us options, especially with kind of cup play and Europe, and the league kind of sides being able to kind of change things up for the 2 games a week. Raphinha does offer one thing that I think would be of huge benefit to us, and that is an aggressive press. He's come from that lead system that's very high in its intensity, very aggressive in pressing the ball. We know they had problems with it, and it was once it was worked out, it was very easy to play against. But the fitness side of things, the ability to press intensely, consistently for 90 minutes, I think would have been a huge benefit to us. Again, not saying that Saka can't do a high press job for us. I'm just saying that Raphinha has been playing in a system that is renowned for its intensity, its ability to press all game, its ability to run great distance. that kind of thing. So, that could have been a real benefit to us. On the defensive side of the ball as well, one of the things Raphinha has done and shown that he can do very well is track back and do good work in our defensive third, which again I think is a really important part of the position, being able to kind of help out, especially if we're playing against teams and there's a swing in the game where they've got possession and we're under a little bit of pressure. Arsenal like to play with that 4-4-2 when we're higher up the field, and then that becomes a 4-5-1. So you're going to have those wide forwards dropping into that line of five. So having somebody back there who is successful with their tackling, because Raphinha has had great success with his tackling and his 1v1 defending, more so than Saka, which I think could have been of benefit to us. Another thing that Raphinha offers that maybe Saka doesn't offer as much of is threat from outside the box. I think what Raphinha offers from outside the box is that ability to score, the long range worldie, put the ball into dangerous areas from those kind of pockets of space. But the big thing that Raphinha offers for me was the willingness to go down the outside on the right foot. Saka doesn't do this as much. I would love to see Saka do that more. And I do believe by going down the right-hand side, and I think this is where Raphinha would have been of interest to us, having a player that can go down the right-hand side opens up that half space, that right-sided half space, as opposed to having a player that's always coming onto the left foot, coming into that half space, into Odegaard's space, or into Vieira's space, or whoever's going to be playing there. Having someone that can go down the right would have been of benefit to us. I also feel if we're playing with a right-sided inverted fullback, by being able to go down the outside on the right, you then don't need that overlapping fullback. And if you don't need that overlapping fullback, they can tuck in and make us much more defensively solid, help us play in the system we want. So there were real benefits to having a player like Raphinha come in. The question is Raphinha worth the money? For me, obviously, he's not. If he was worth that money, I do believe Arsenal would have countered with an offer that is comparable to the offer made by Chelsea. I do believe Arsenal are now in a position where they are looking at worth as opposed to market value. And so, for example, people saying Gabriel costs too much with such little time left on his contract and not a prolific goal scorer. Well, to Arsenal, what he offers the team is worth the money. And so based on worth, they've gone to sign him. For Raphinha, the money that was being asked for, the fact that you are not considerably upgrading on Saka, it's just not worth it. 65 million for a player that's not offered or not shown that he can do more than what Saka can do just doesn't make sense. All in all, for the amount of money, for what he offers, for what he's shown the Premier League, I think Arsenal have made the right decision in not really looking to break the bank for him. That could change, and I would suggest if Arsenal are going to break the bank for a player like Raphinha, then they've seen something they like over what Saka offers, and I genuinely don't believe that to be the case. So I think for us, I think the Raphinha deal is kind of dead in the water. And I think we'll be moving on to our next target soon. Obviously, we've put that offer in for Martinez, so let's see what happens with that. If you want to see the video I did on Martinez, you can click here somewhere and watch that video. Thanks for taking the time to watch my video. If you've enjoyed watching this video, please make sure you like this video and make sure you subscribe to the channel. There's going to be a lot more coming. And don't forget to click that bell. Make sure you click that bell, get notifications when new videos drop. This is the place to come for analysis. This is the place to come for informed opinion. Leave your comments here, or you can get me on my Twitter account, sensible_gunner. All that's left to say is, come on, you gunners.